Well, first let me start with saying I'm still amazed with this webinar phenomenon. I'm sitting here in my office, I'm presenting to a relatively large audience, and the only thing I see is my computer. While that's not entirely true, some colleagues are in the same room as well to assure me that I'm not alone on this planet. At the same time, I think it's a powerful instrument as it allows us to reach many people with probably the same interests, which is today, how can we measure the real capability of software manufacturers? This is a very intriguing question. I would like to share with you our views and experiences in this area. The presentation deals with 6 topics. We start with a description of today's software industry using a metaphor. We then summarize valuable empirical information that is hardly known and seldomly used. I hope you are one of the users of such information. After this, a best practice set of 16 key performance indicators is introduced that we use to analyze and benchmark software capability. We then show the results of 2 out of many case studies showing the powerfulness of this set, at least that is the experience so far of our customers. We end the presentations with conclusions, and finally we take the liberty to present to you a new non-profit organization that focuses on further exploring and exploiting this KPI set. There will be time after the presentations to raise questions. Let me now see how I can present 684 slides in roughly 1 hour. When I started my career in software engineering in the early 80s, I started with designing and programming as a freelancer, working for many companies, mainly in the embedded software industry. After more than 10 years, it became more and more clear to me that there were significant problems with software projects. A common returning factor in all the assignments I did. Too late, over budget, and many pre- and post-release defects. I switched to quality engineering, started to define and implement quality systems, using ISO 9001 for instance, and became involved in a software process improvement program within Philips, where they introduced the software CMMI in the early 90s. That was a big eye-opener to me, and in my opinion, much better than ISO standards. Whereas earlier many managers explained to colleagues how good their own performance was, now everybody smiled to each other, saying, yes, I'm at level 1 as well. So the software CMM became my thing, and after a few years I founded a consulting and training company, and we grew gradually to 25 people and served many organizations in and outside the Netherlands. However, in all those years we had actually little real successes and became frustrated seeing many software manufacturers go for level hunting only. We observed that they didn't know their real capability other than being a typical level 1 or 2 organization, and adopting the software CMM as the reference model for improvement and defining as next year's target level 2 or level 3. We are afraid this is still true today for many organizations. I think you will agree to this, although there are of course good examples as well. This presentation addresses how to measure real capability and to use the results as a baseline for defining improvements that make sense and are measurable. In our current assignments, we still see the majority of software projects being steered at the scheduled deadline, the available budget, and removing major defects prior to releasing. And to put it bluntly, it is often irrespective of CMMI levels, as we shall see later. Focusing on these metrics only is very dangerous. It ignores 3 important dimensions. First, what is the scope of the product being built? Secondly, what is the current and future quality of the product being built? And last but not least, how efficient is the process applied for building the product? Let us illustrate this with a semaphore. This slide, as well as the next 2 slides, are from one of our workshops. We start this workshop by asking people how fit this biker is. As you can see, the biker needs more than 2 hours to cover a distance of 32 kilometers or 20 miles. This is actually my Sunday morning trip. The typical reaction of workshop participants is that the average speed is approximately 14 kilometers per hour or 9 miles per hour, so that I'm probably not that fit. Are they correct? Well, we need some additional information to draw a conclusion here. Analyzing distance and schedule only is a bit naive, as we will see. Here you see some additional information regarding this bike tour. As you can probably see, the area where I live is not that flat. I live in a remote village, high in the Swiss Alps.
I'm sorry for the interruption to the conference operator. I have Hundley want to join the conference. And
I'm sorry, we'll deal with these after, please. No more interruptions. We are doing a live webcast. Thank you.
Okay.
I live in this remote village, high in the Swiss Alps, and somewhere between Bern and Geneva. As a consequence, I'm not driving a bicycle as Lance Armstrong. Mine is a mountain bike, and part of the tour is on an unpaved road. I've been driving this tour for years, and up till 2008, I had a very simple approach. Take 2 bottles of water, 2 bananas, try to go as fast as possible without stopping. And if I had to make a stop, being out of breath, my Sunday was ruined. If it took me more time than average, the same. And, well, sometimes I was successful, but my performance over all those years never really changed. Actually, growing older, I more and more often had a ruined Sunday. Let us look at some more additional information. Early 2008, I bought a GPS, including a cadence and heart rate sensor, in addition to my speedometer. I started to record more data, and here we see 3 additional sources of information. The elevation in this tour ranges from approximately 1,000 meters to 1,650 meters, with a total elevation of 1,100 meters, or 3,300 feet. At certain slopes, elevation is between 14 and 16%. Heart frequency ranges from 70 beats per minute to 160 beats per minute, going up when climbing. The cadence, being the number of new rotations per minute, is relatively constant from the beginning till the end of the tour. The figures presented here are of summer 2009 and very different from when I started recording the data in 2008. At that time, heart frequency often was up to 180 beats per minute, in which case I had to pause. Cadence towards the end of the tour slowed down, being extremely tired. The only positive thing was that I burned a lot of calories, as you can see. So having adopted this multi-perspective view has brought me a lot. When I'm driving now, biking, I monitor my heart frequency to stay below 160 beats per minute. And that makes a big difference. I normally end the tour without stopping, and in addition, I can better predict the schedule. I go faster. I burn less calories, actually, and I arrive relatively fresh. So let us revisit the original question. Am I fit? Yes, I'm fit, although this cold winter has prevented me from undertaking tours since December. We'll see in April when the snow is gone. Unfortunately, many managers today feel naked when it comes to decision making, as they lack useful information.